You have been told in 100 quiet ways that you are not an athlete, that your body is the slow one, the soft one, the one that gets picked last. The gym feels less like a homecoming and more like a sentence, a machine you climb onto to apologize for the body you have. And so you assume the truth about you is written on a treadmill display. The calories, the effort, the failure. That some people were simply built to move, and you were built to sit. But that is almost exactly backwards. The animal reading this sentence is one of the finest endurance machines that has ever existed. Not the fastest. A squirrel would humiliate you in a sprint. But over distance, over hours, over heat, over the long, flat afternoon, almost nothing alive can keep up with a human who simply refuses to stop. You were not built to sit this still. And the reason you feel like you were is buried in the difference between how your ancestors moved, every single day, and how somebody, fairly recently, decided you should. For almost the entire history of our kind, movement was not something you scheduled. It was the medium you lived in. You walked because the water was over there, and you were over here. You carried, you dug, you climbed, you followed the herd. The day was made of motion, and nobody called it exercise because there was no other kind of life to hold it up against. Then, in the span of a few generations, we engineered the moving out. The chair arrived, then the car, then the desk you reach by car and leave by car. Work stopped being something your body did and became something your body sat through. We can almost measure the moment. When researchers led by Tim Church traced American jobs across 50 years, they found that in the early 1960s, nearly half of private sector work demanded at least moderate physical effort. Today, fewer than 1 in 5 jobs do. The daily energy a man burns just by working has fallen by around 140 calories. Not because he gives less, but because the world stopped asking. The thing that feels like a law of nature, that movement is an optional, effortful extra, is younger than your grandparents. So what was this body actually for? In 2004, 2 scientists, Dennis Bramble and Daniel Lieberman, laid the case out in the journal Nature. Look at the human skeleton, they argued, and you find a machine quietly tuned for one strange talent: running. Not fast, but far. Long, springy tendons that store and return energy with every stride. A giant tendon at the heel that a chimpanzee simply doesn't have. A body that, around 2 million years ago, was being reshaped for distance. And then there is the cooling. Most animals carry their own heat like a debt. They run, they overheat, and they have to stop to pant it away. You don't. Your skin is bare, and buried in it are somewhere between 2 and 5 million sweat glands. A cooling system so absurdly good that on a hot enough day, over enough miles, a human can run down a horse. We are, in a real sense, the animal that does not have to stop. Now, honesty matters here, because this is exactly the place the story used to overreach. For years, the idea that early humans chased prey to exhaustion, persistence hunting, was waved away as a romantic myth, seen too rarely to take seriously. But in 2024, researchers combed through more than 8,000 historical accounts and found nearly 400 descriptions of exactly that across hundreds of cultures, on nearly every inhabited continent. It was never a myth, it was just forgotten. Your body keeps the receipts, the long legs, the spring in the step, the sweat on your skin. You are not bad at moving, you are built to outlast, so if you are built for this. Why does moving feel like something you have to be sold? Because somewhere in the last century, it became something to sell. When the world quietly removed the walking, the carrying, the climbing, it left a hole exactly the shape of a body that needs to move. And an industry arrived to fill it and to rent it back to you. A global fitness club business now worth around $96 billion a year, 180 million memberships, built on a simple, brilliant trick. Take the one thing your body did for free, for 2 million years, and put it behind a turnstile. And notice how they had to sell it, not as joy, as penance, the burn, the grind, no pain, no gain. Movement reframed as the price you pay for the body you're ashamed of. A tax on rest, a punishment for eating. The exact opposite of what it was, for every ancestor who ever lived. They didn't make you lazy. They built a world that does the sitting for you, and then sold you the running back, one membership at a time. None of this is a training plan, it's a recognition. You don't have to enter a single race or download a single app to feel the truth of it. You only have to notice that the restlessness in your legs at the end of a long, still day is not a flaw. It's a 2 million year old engine, idling, a body asking, quietly, for the thing it was made to do. Your ancestors didn't move to fix themselves. They moved because that was simply what a day was, and the moving kept them alive long enough to become you. So the next time you walk, not for the steps, not for the calories, just to be a body going somewhere, you might feel it. Faint underneath the tiredness. Something old and patient and strong. You were never the slow one. You are the animal that doesn't stop. You always were. The world just forgot to let you run.